Hello, everyone. I'm Aqsa Taylor, Chief Security Evangelist at Exaforce, and you're watching an episode of It's SOC Easy podcast. Today, I have a guest, Klesti, who is a security researcher focused on cloud, governance, and compliance research here at Exaforce. I'm super excited to talk to him. This is his first time appearing on this podcast, and he recently wrote an article on our Substack for GitHub governance and rules that are often the foundation for good security practices for GitHub. But before diving into it, Klesti, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Klesti. I recently joined Exaforce as a junior researcher. Previously, I've been working in cloud security, pen tests, and DevOps. I've been working close with DevOps integration, CI/CD, Kubernetes clusters, etc. And recently, I've moved on, switched my career to cloud research and basically focusing on securing cloud environments with agentic AI, like Exaforce is doing.
Nice. And cloud has usually been a separate beast from SecOps. Like SOC analysts lived in their own world with events, alerts, incidents, and then cloud security, DevOps, DevSecOps, they have different sets of platforms like CNAP and all of these. And now it's interesting to see that you're working for a SOC company, but you're dedicated to research from the cloud and bringing that to the clients at Exaforce. So let's dive into one of the things you recently worked on in this article on GitHub. First of all, what inspired you to write this article on GitHub?
My colleagues, Aqsa and Leon, were just publishing a blog regarding the Hack Club bot, which took advantage of pull requests. And there were a couple of Git issues that mainly could be mitigated if people just took some time and followed the GitHub guidelines on setting up the organizations and setting up organization rules and stuff. So I just said this could be a good article and just it could guide people to the right direction. So a lot of times people around just create an organization, especially on startups, or if it's a small company, they will just create a GitHub organization, create repositories and push code without being like monitored and having the right compliance in place. So I thought this could be a good point. And
yes, for sure. And sometimes we get so focused on, hey, the newer types of attacks, cloud mythos and vulnerabilities and all. But if we take a step back, are you doing the fundamentals? Like, is your foundation strong? Like your title said, the foundation of your castle, is it built? Have you built the walls, the guardrails in a good way for you to then layer advanced security on top of?
Yeah, basically this was the main point. And considering the latest attack on GitHub and the latest news on GitHub that it's like just 2 or 3 days ago, a new vulnerability come out from Wiz. Guys at Wiz just found out that they got advantage of the entire GitHub infrastructure, and like with a simple push request, like
wow,
a simple code could just take out all your. And nowadays with infrastructure as a code, everything it's a code, it's a line of code. So your infrastructure basically goes down in a matter of minutes, or you get off.
As a researcher, what are the common trends or patterns that you see that are usually abused when it comes to GitHub? What are the common mispractices of GitHub?
Basically, mispractices is people does not enforce rules on main branches, or does not have security pipelines in place. They don't have governance or rules for new repositories that get created. So let's say we are a small company, we have a couple of products, or we have an application, and we just want to build an internal tool, and somebody gets lazy, just creates a repository and adds the code there and leaves. Like it's just a tool that helps people, but that repo can initiate a lot of things. And in a lot of cases, just one compromised thing can lead to another, and your entire infrastructure is gone.
Yes. So can we dive in a little bit more into each of these aspects? So one of my questions is, some of these practices are probably not just technical, but also process oriented, right? And so if somebody wanted to now revamp everything to be secure, what are some changes that they would have to make?
GitHub has a set of guidelines in their documentations, and it's just a way it's called skills. Like cloud code skills. So when you create an organization, you can create just .github repository, and there a lot of it's just a repository with a lot of guidelines, licensing, and everything you want to put into your company. So you can have a base licensing, or each repository you create, you can have a sets of rules, and you can have sets of pipelines and templates that people can use. This helps create also the repository template. So once a person wants to create a new repository, they have a repository template which comes with built-in security practices that are inherited from the .github repository, and there it's like everything configured for the whole entire organization. And you can have like repository templates for all of this, and you can also set security rules. Nowadays, it's since we are talking like infrastructure as a code, everything. It's a good thing that GitHub provides a Terraform provider, so you can automate this process all and manage it via Terraform and have some state files as infrastructure as a code.
So GitHub does provide these.
Yeah, Terraform provider. Yeah, it provides all. It provides an API. It provides like sets of guidelines. I would say it's a boring process in the beginning, but it's a must.
Yeah, it's like going through HR compliance training when you join a company.
Yeah.
Just have to. Now, you mentioned in your article also about rule sets. Can we dive into it a little bit more? Can you explain what they are and how they help?
So rule sets are a bunch of rules that we set up for the our repositories and for the users that access these repositories. Firstly, one of the things we can set up signing is required. This was one of the ways that we could protect against Hackclaw bot. So if you had signing enabled for each commit, the Hackclaw bot could not commit its messages to you, like to your repository in your name and stuff. So this is one of the cases. You can set a lot of things with the rules. Like you can manage same as we can set the rules on, I would say, if we are talking Active Directory, for example, we set group policies. Here we set up rules, or I don't know, this is the comparison that comes to my mind. Like we can set rules for almost everything in the organizations. Like for actions, for repositories, for pull requests, for issues, for everything.
And these mispractices, or when people don't do this, do these actually get alerted in a SIEM? Are there any rules by default that a SIEM would pick these up?
Usually not, but you can integrate this with using, like, if you are a GitHub Enterprise user. And so I have to mention this, some of the features are for GitHub Enterprise. They are not all for, like, we have also open source organizations and other types. Some features are locked for enterprise because we know GitHub at the end of the day, it's just a product from a company. And if you are a GitHub Enterprise user, you have a bunch of other integrations. But if you have policies enabled, if something happens, you can add trigger events. But basically, they prevent things for happening. So, for example, if we have a policy that has locked all the master branches, the main like protected branches, and we have signing enabled, and we have also a pull request approval, a random person cannot get and just push code and let code end up in production without first having the signature like configured and given the permission to that repository, and then given access, and then his code reviewed by one or two persons, and then merged into a protected branch.
Do you see any impact of vibe coding and trying to build applications faster, and maybe even doing this through GitHub integration? Are there things, prompts, things that you should include in as part of that to make secure apps?
Regarding vibe coding, it's a hot topic right now, especially right now. GitHub has a PR body which reviews the PRs, the pull requests, and it's really helpful. It helps a lot, like especially if you are reviewing a lot of pull requests and you have a PR body that will review that. But it will always require somebody to approve that and to have to take it with a grain of salt, because we know these are LLMs and they can hallucinate from time to time. But with each model, it's becoming more accurate.
But HackerBot, yeah. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, the merge of error is always there.
Yeah. I was gonna say in the HackerBot Claude attack campaign, there was actually a manipulation to Claude MD script by injecting through pull requests for version change, and they changed the prompts for the instructions file for Claude so that the README file was changed, right? So we see that having bots do this PR or auto merge for smaller changes like version changes and all can also end up being security risks.
So yes, that's why I mentioned we should always have somebody review the pull requests. And the best practice that is widely used is we have at least 2 reviewers for pull requests. So a single person with a PR body cannot go and just push direct code to protected branches. They can do whatever they want in like low and branches. They can create their separate branch, but they don't have access to protected branch, and they don't have access to run like CIs.
Great. Now, what are 3 takeaways that you want people to take away from the article? There is a lot there to unpack. We talked about the best practices and all, but if you were to prioritize and stack rank them, what would you say, like, these are the 3 takeaways I want you to go away with? If you're not watching the entire video, like, this is something you have to keep in mind.
Yes, 3 takeaways. I would say 1, have signing required. 2nd, have protected branches and have strict pipelines. And 3rd, have rules for your organization. Take a look at GitHub skills. Like, they have a wonderful documentation and they have practical examples on how to set up a .github repository and how to set up repo templates. Everything it's displayed really nicely in the GitHub documentation. So just take this course, take your 2 or 3 hours. Don't stick to LLM for everything. You can ask to explain things, but just
Don't summarize.
do the course for 3 hours and just like it's a practical course. They give you the skills and they give you the examples. So just follow the examples and build your policies on top of that.
Nice. Do the work. And don't LLM your way out of this. Great. Thank you so much, Klesti. That was a fun conversation. I definitely have learned a lot, and I hope our viewers will too. I'm sure they will too. And for those who are watching this, if you haven't already checked out Klesti's article, the link will be in description. Please go check it out and share with your peers who are probably in DevSecOps or SOC world dealing with GitHub. Thank you so much, and see you on the next episode.